Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and I have been in a building mode lately, and that's because I got a bunch of Tamiya kits in. So you're going to see a bunch of Tamiya kits coming up on the channel. You guys have already seen the Frog, but I got the CC-01 in as well, and this is a kit you really need to check out because it's a lot of fun for those of you that want to kind of do the off-road trail thing, but maybe not so wild with the climbing and stuff. And it's a unique kit that is just fun to build, fun to detail. So I've built it up already. Why don't we take a closer look at it, and I'll let you know why you need to check this kit out. There it is, our Land Rover Defender 90 CC-01, all built up, ready to go. And this is the box that it comes in. It is a full build-up kit, so you have to assemble it, you have to paint it, decal it. But they do go ahead and give you the speed controller in here, some LED lights, which is really cool, and the motor. So you're just going to need a 2-channel radio system, servo, battery, some building supplies, paint, and CA glue. And when you're done, this is what you get. You get this pretty awesome looking off-road rig right here. So what I really like about this is it does come with a lot of detail parts. The front grille is separate. We've got this protective bar here as well. It even has mirrors on the side. And then on the back, it does have a spare tire back here. So, it gives it some more scale detail. Definitely like the look of this rig. Now let's pop the body off here, and I'm going to show you guys the inside. And this kit has been around for a while, so I'm not going to go in great detail about all of its features and stuff. Just want to point out a few cool things that I noticed while I was building it. And it probably only took me about 2 to 3 hours to build the chassis itself. It's a pretty quick build. But what's really cool about it is this tub chassis, and it kind of has some frame rails kind of molded into the side, and the transmission is actually part of the chassis itself too. Here is the front driveline stuff, or the covers for the gears. So it's a pretty neat chassis on this. You got fender wells integrated into it. The steering goes down through the center here. It's just a pretty neat, well-engineered chassis setup. And what makes it even more unique is there is independent suspension in the front on this particular truck, and it does have the axle out back. And you could build the axle where you could lock out the differential, or they give you the gears so you could have it freewheel, basically. I built it so it's locked up. The front still has a full differential in there, and it's got this universal drive shaft out to the back axle. You can even see the pumpkin is offset. So it's got a pretty cool scale type setup. Here's the trailing arms and stuff. It does have oil-filled shocks in there. I definitely like that. They're a little on the stiff side, actually. I think this thing's going to bounce around a little bit when we're out there on the trail. But they do give you oil shocks. Definite bonus there. And over here is that motor that I told you. It comes with the motor. Here's a servo that you're going to have to supply yourself. Same with the receiver. And then here is the speed controller. And what's nice about this speed controller is you could go put a brushless motor in there later. But again, this is a very cool truck to build up. It's a lot of fun. I will say that. Here's where your battery slides in. It just takes a kind of a shotgun style of pack. And overall, just got a great look to it. Now, are there any downsides to the CC-01? Well, when you're driving it just as is, not really. It would be nice if you go get some ball bearings for the transmission when you're building it. But if you're just going to run it occasionally, not totally necessary there. But still, ball bearings are great for any drivetrain. And again, the springs are a little stiff on there. That's kind of a downside. And kind of the way the front end is set up, there's not a ton of ground clearance there. Even though it is a cross-country truck, trail driving, I would like a little bit more clearance in the front. But, considering the proportions of this rig, it's not a crazy big deal. Again, you just have to be aware of, where you're going to drive it. What are you going to go over with it? If it's just, flat trails, flat dirt trails, you're good to go. And it's certainly a great rig to go out, shoot some scale style of videos, or just have fun romping around in the backyard. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to head out, have some fun with it, and see how scale we can make this rig look out on the trail. So let's just jump right into the final discussion of our CC-01 kit here. And as we've already established, this is a fun kit to build. If you're a Tamiya collector, this is one of those kits that you have to have in your collection. It's just really cool how they, built up the chassis, the suspension, the driveline on this. It's just a great kit. But beyond that, you probably want to know how it works when you're out there driving it. And well, for those of you that are just out there for general fun, romping around in the backyard, just kind of blasting through dirt and stuff like that, it's a fun little kit to drive. But, it's got the scale body on there, and people are going to want to do scale things with it. And when you go out there on the trail, there is a couple of issues that you're going to have to figure out how to get around, and then one of those is, the suspension on here. I mentioned it was stiff before, and when you're out there on the trail, it does just bounce around a lot, and if you're hitting sticks or roots or rocks and stuff like that, the truck just kind of bounces up off of that versus the suspension soaking it up. So that's one thing you're going to have to work on, is softening up the suspension just so you get a more scale feel out of it. The other thing is, it's got a pretty cool body in my opinion, but it shakes a lot in the rear. It's got this fake spare tire out back that adds a lot of weight to the rear, and it just kind of bounces around. So if you're taking some video and trying to get that scale look at any sort of speed to it, you'll see that wiggle within the video footage. So you got to kind of figure something out there. There are ways to brace it. There are braces in the body, but you're going to have to do some additional bracing with some extra Lexan just to firm up the rear so it's not shaking around a lot. And once you do those two things, I think it'll look pretty cool for some scale video footage, especially if you're down low with the camera. It definitely looks really cool then. It does look scale, and maybe you go throw an interior in there as well just to add a bit more to it. But overall, it is a fun kit, and I really like, this particular chassis setup on this. It's got to go great next to my CC-02, and just to have those two to kind of drive back and forth with each other, just to experience the two different ways that the two trucks will handle, that'll be a lot of fun in itself. But again, if you're looking to add a Tamiya vehicle to your collection, something fun, something different, the CC-01 is definitely a platform that has a lot to offer. There are a lot of aftermarket parts out there for it, so you can go and modify it even more to have even more fun with it, and certainly a lot of different body styles are available from Tamiya, so if you ever get bored of the Defender 90, there are a number of different options out there for you to go and get and put onto this chassis. Alright guys, I hope you saw the fun factor in the CC-01 Defender 90 from Tamiya. If you haven't done so yet, please click that subscribe button and the notifications bell, and we'll see you back here soon for some more RC Driver videos.